what's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshall in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
The lads.
Updogg, fella. Curfew calls. Continue.
The sounds of summer, our friends at Labatt Blue Light. But yes, curfew calls are back. We hope you've been enjoying them. I know you and I like to get after it, so to speak.
These are my favorite ones.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, they're and when they come out, they're going to roll out. And then I think once they start rolling out, the boys are being chintzy on us here. We only got 7 calls, couple write-ins, boys. Hey,
they've been rolling.
Come on, boys.
Rolling.
We love talking curfew calls with you guys. It's our favorite part. We need more ammunition, I guess, is what I'm saying. It's good to hear from our beauty listeners because it makes you realize they're just like us.
Yeah, totally. Right? These are the ones where, after a good old 55-minute session shooting the shit with you, I look back sometimes, I go, what the fuck were we talking about?
Yeah.
How did we go down that path? How are we in this rabbit hole? Oh my God, is my mom going to be listening to this? Like, it just is, all the voices come through the mind.
Yeah, I think my mom stopped listening to Missin Curfew
when you're chirping the Leafs.
No, I think probably like right out the get-go, she was just like, I think the first time I said, Mom, like, you like the pod? And she said, you know what, Shane, there's a lot of swearing. I don't really listen to it.
That was the first thing my dad said too. A lot of swears.
Your dad said that?
Yeah, a lot of swears. I'm like, huh?
Wow, big Scott.
I know. And then I talked to some people. They're like, why don't you guys swear anymore? I go, well, no, we still swear, but we try not to so much because our friends at DraftKings air this on their network. So we're kind of like, we will, but it's more of a slip. But we still want to be authentic. So fuck, I don't know.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line. Like there's times where we first started doing this, and like when we went up to Action Park Media, and this kind of teases us into our first question, but when we went to back in the day going up to Action Park Media, we jump in the Sprinter van, we go in there, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We drink. I mean, you drink 8 to 10 beers. I would drink half a bottle of fucking whiskey, and we'd leave there hammered. I'm like, what did we just say? And then I would listen to it. It was F this, F that, beep, beep, beep. And as we've gotten, hopefully people think better than this or more like seasoned at it, I still listen to it. And it seems like we do a better job of not throwing so many.
Yeah.
But when we throw them in bunches. Like we just throw up, like I'll listen to it sometimes or watch on YouTube and, I'll say the F word, 3 of the last 6 words that come out of me. I'm like, how the hell did that happen there?
We did a lot of drinking back in the day.
Big time.
Like, I mean, what a job.
Well, we didn't
just jump in that van. And crack open a beer. We'd watch ESPN or NHL Network. We'd get in there. We'd sit around the round table with Collins, and then I'm like, "You got any? Did we fill up the fridge? Yeah, okay. It's like 11 in the morning, and then by the 3rd or 4th beer, we're 20, 30 minutes into our podcast. We're slurring, and we're like, "This is great," and we're shit. We got hazy on the Zoom. We're like, "Fuck."
Oh yeah, getting hazy on the Zoom, man. Is it working out? Hazy, Cooper's. Move your sign over a little bit to the left there. Hey, how's that look, boys? Oh, that's not bad, but okay, you move your light, hazy. How's it sound? Hold on. I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot to put into this podcast. I hope people are listening. But what was I going to say about the drinking part of it? Yeah, like we would come up there because we didn't know what we were like, right? Obviously, we knew Chicklets was the mecca of it, and there's now a bunch of hockey podcasts, but like all our really pregame was like up. We're like, what are we going to do? I'm like, we're just going to be West Coast ups. Let's just be West Coast. We live out here. Let's give it a West Coast feel. That was like literally our game plan heading in. I'm like, what? Like looking back, I'm like, what kind of game plan was that? Like, be West Coast, and I thought, we were trying to give a locker room feel, and we thought drinking would, make it feel more like that. And we were probably I was nervous. I don't know about you, but like, being nervous. But now I couldn't imagine coming in here and just getting tuned up and doing it. Yeah. I could.
Tuned up.
Yeah, I could.
And in fact, our live shows, that we did over the playoff time, like these are moments where we want to get tuned up. We want to have a cigar and watch a game and share some stories and, because that's what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Maybe not everyone's drinking on the job.
That's what you're doing.
On the job at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but I'll tell you what, if they're watching hockey, they're getting drunk.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I can get tuned up with the best of them, right? I mean, I love getting tuned up, but like I don't have the same desire as I used to get tuned up.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean, you think? Does that mean like It's like the guy at Slapshot says, Johnny says you can drink so much and fuck so much. Is that where you're just like, I mean, listen, special occasions are like if we get the OG Newport crew together or Richardson comes into town or, PA was here, we're going like, I can still crank it up. But I just know at the end of the day, like how bad I'm going to feel the next day. Like even
I got pretty tuned up last night.
Yeah.
Real tuned up.
Yeah. But you're a drinker. Like you enjoy it. I thought I would classify you as a drinker. Yeah. Right? Like you're a casual drinker.
I appreciate that.
Like, I mean,
a well-deserved title.
I mean, some of my best friends are Tom Doherty. I would classify him as not a fucking booze bag, but it's just a drinker.
Totally. I've now earned the reputation of a fucking guy that loves wine.
Yeah,
I can't stop.
Well, when you came out of Big Canyon that one day with fucking, they had to bring out the dolly in the back. They're like, Upshall's got some more around the back. I'm like,
I need to reload. Actually, that wasn't too long ago. That was probably 8 months, and I'm done.
Yeah,
I went through about 85 bottles.
Yeah, I think when you're like, and you know what, Tom Riley's much like me, and we're both big bears. Like I've always been a binge drinker, right? Like my mom used to say to me, like Shane, like my Aunt Sandra, God rest her soul, now she was an alcoholic, and my dad flirted probably with bucking up being on the line. Hey, Peter, if I flirted with him, bud, but my mom would say, I was like, Shane, you're not drinking too much, are you? And this is back when we were rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
I said, nah, Ma, I'm a binge drinker.
Yeah,
when I fucking
Thursday,
go
Friday, Saturday.
When I go. I remember I was having this conversation with TD, and you're much the same as right. Like, and this is when I was going out every Friday and Saturday night, right? And I would say, TD, how many drinks do you think you have in the course of a week? And he would say, I probably have 25 drinks in the course of a week. I said, well, I had 25 drinks Friday and Saturday, guaranteed, 100%. I probably had 40 fucking drinks in 2 days.
Yeah,
but then I would go. And you know what I think it is? It was a much of when we trained, too, of when we played hockey, right? We'd go hard Friday, Saturday, maybe bleed into Sunday, Cassidy's. And then, all that week I'd have to train and just I wouldn't drink at all because I'm trying to lose weight. And I know I've always been like that. And, Loops used to be like that. I think he's changed a little bit. But Loops still sometimes, too, will be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not drinking for a couple days.
Loops still is a guy. He can shut it down for, he'll go like, I'm not drinking for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm gonna fast. I'm not gonna do this fucking. He's out there when it comes to that stuff, and he's good at it. He's always been good at it.
Yeah.
I remember the days like if there was the golden book on how to do proper like summer life for like a young NHLer back in the day. I'm sure it's changed a little bit now, but like you have to send it like when you first start that off season. It's like you get a Wednesday night, send it.
Oh yeah.
And like Thursday, golf with the boys, have some drinks. Send it again if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Friday, fucking have a great afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Send it again Friday.
Well, the thing about
Saturday, find all the chicks that you found all week. Get them all together.
Didn't I see?
Send it again Saturday night.
Didn't I see you Wednesday?
Yeah,
you did. Oh, hey, what's up? Good to see you again. Let's get it going.
Sunday, fucking at the beach, do your thing. Your tan is now perfect, and you're getting ready. And then that's for the first couple of weeks. You can do 4 or 5 nights a week. Then start to train. Like you just said, you get a Friday night, Saturday night, afternoon, Sunday session. Pick the best one that you had all weekend, and that's your Sunday night. And then Monday, get up, lay off the booze. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then find a way to just do it all over again. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday.
Dude, when I was young, playing at the Jungle, I was living in Peterborough. I mean, we would go out. Me and Craig Foster, John House, we'd go out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday every week. But I'd go in and work out Thursday.
Yeah,
I would go and my hangovers were what they were, right? Like I used to actually not really get hung. Like I wake up and probably because I was still drunk, right? I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get this done. And then you feel great after. You go for lunch, have a little nap, but you get back after it.
Yeah.
But then once you get playing in the NHL and probably the workouts got harder and you didn't want to show up being like, right? Like with Sean Skahan, just show up fucking hung cheese all the time. And they were hard workouts. But another reason why to me, it's like, all right, what are we going to have? You want to sit down and, like, if we're going for dinner, let's sit down and have a bottle of wine. Sure, fine. But other than that, like, if we're going to go to the club, let's say, Big Canyon, and have a couple of drinks, but why? What's a couple going to do? Now all I got to do is piss all night. Do you not have to piss all night?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
That would change your way. That would change, I would change your mentality too. And I think TD's the same way, because if I have a couple beers or have some drinks and have some wine, I'm pissing all night. Now it messes up my sleep. I'm waking up, I'm in one.
So if you didn't piss all night, would you do
I'd probably drink more.
a couple more? Yeah.
I'd probably drink more.
Well, heads up.
Yeah.
If someone ever fixes that problem, heads up.
That's not going to get.
You know what?
That's
I
not
think
gonna get-
the term casual drinker, because you're able to socialize, knowing that there's a limit on, where you're going to go for the night. I think that's an added, tool in your tool shed.
And I think it has to do with your girl too, right? Like your girl likes to have a cocktail,
Drinks every day.
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
So it's like if that's and she lived in New York and she went out for dinners and that's part of your lifestyle. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Mac L, that's how he lived in the city his whole life. Fucking Mac L loves a nice
7
dinner.
p.m. workouts.
Yeah.
Right to dinner, 9 p.m., an hour late for the show for the dinner, and just a couple old fashions, wine, and he doesn't drink hard alcohol though, Mac Daddy. He likes a little vodka, but then he's all just beers.
Yeah. No.
Coors Lights.
The most hungover
Lights.
I've ever seen Mac L was right after Scoops he passed away. I probably told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. And he was living in CDM. And I had a nice bottle of whiskey, and me and Mac L were out that night. I said, let's go back to my house. Let's have fucking one for Scoopsy. Hey, if we didn't drink this whole whistle pig or whatever the fucking thing was. And he left at like 7 a.m. and he was like, and I went over and saw him the next day, and he was sitting there like,
Yeah.
oh, they fuck opus. I'm in one. That's the most hungover I've ever seen him.
So you've done that before. I cannot do that. Like the other night, I did a full bottle of Class Azul, like just put it right back.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but the whiskey late night for me, like after you get back, and I love shooting the shit, especially if something like that goes down, something with your buddy. But to sit around till fucking wee hours in the morning drinking whiskey, that is a recipe for fuck.
Well, you used to stay up to the wee hours and before your kids,
chasing it,
Yeah.
It always helps if there's a little trim.
Wow, there was always that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was always that.
Yeah, a little trim is not a bad.
Yeah. No, I mean, the one thing about you now is you always go home at like 2 a.m., which is so smart because when you start staying up till 5 and 6, I mean, it just takes it to the next level.
Yeah, I know it does.
You know what? The way to do it, I think, is day drinking.
Yeah.
Like that's the way to do it. When you get into your 40s, like we are, I think it's just all about the day buzz.
Yeah.
Labatt
blue lights just all afternoon.
All afternoon,
and then
you have
a couple old fashions.
You have some dinner, and you go home. You fall asleep. You wake up. You feel great.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that when I get on the road. I wasn't exactly the guy that would drop his stuff and go right to the bar at happy hour, but I'd probably go in, lay down for a little bit, whatever. Then I would go have some drinks before dinner. I'd go have a few cocktails, have dinner, be home, try to be home by 10 or 11. You feel fine the next day. It's when you stayed out till like 2 or 3 chasing it, trying to get laid. You wake up, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I'm in one.
You know what? This is a message just to the guys.
I'm in one.
This is a message to the guys who are still playing. If you're listening to this podcast right now, enjoy those afternoons where you can drop your bags off in different cities throughout the USA. And you sit there in a Ritz-Carlton fucking hotel. You drop your bags off. They got great sheets, fucking great towels, nice showers. Just hit the town, take the boys on your team, go have fucking afternoon beers before dinner. Enjoy all those moments because it's so hard to get back on the road and to have like afternoons off.
Yeah.
Like fucking just right.
Embrace the lifestyle.
Embrace that. Grab the guys on your team. Don't let them fucking go to bed early. Like take them out for beer.
Don't let them go to bed.
Go chat with the cute waitresses before their nights get crazy. The 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's a nice time to really get to know your teammates. Fucking see the city, to find a new little pub. Man, like I learned early from the guys, like the older guys. So those are some of the moments, and it goes by so fast. But I'll tell you what, that is one thing that you fucking will miss, boys.
Yeah. There's a good point by you about the waitresses. You can lay some good groundwork if you get in there, before the whole squad comes or before all the guys get out from working. You're like, hey, what's Tavern on Rush? Tavern on Rush.
You guys here for it?
That was my favorite spot to go in and do that in. Yeah, Updogg. Hey, it is what it is, bud. We listen. We all got our vices, you know what I mean?
I know.
We all got our vices. Listen, let's get into a curfew calls from our boy Jed Ward. It's a good question. Let's tease up our drinking, Updogg. How did Obi and the Updogg meet? Is there a special story behind you guys meeting? It's all because of Loops.
Yeah, it's all his fault.
Cincinnati Mighty Ducks hockey back in the day, played against the Milwaukee Admirals. Speaking of dinners and not letting guys go to bed, this is perfect. This is fucking perfect. So Loops goes, I remember after practice, Loops is like, hey, Loops, I'm going to go for dinner with the Updogg and Fidge. You want to come? I'm like, fuck yeah. And obviously heard about the Updogg, but I'm like, let's go meet this legend, Vern Fiddler. I wasn't like, I didn't know Vern either. I hated Vern on the ice, but I'm like, if Loops says he's a good guy, he's got to be a good guy. And so 2 guys from each team, we each had our guy. We started having a nice dinner. Dinner turned into let's go over the river to Kentucky and go to Pachenko's, and we stayed out till, what time do you think we got home? I can't even remember.
I mean, they lay college bar. So I mean, what time do college bars close? 2:30?
Yeah.
Right? Game next day. And when in the term, I had my guy. If you can't see through that term where it goes over your head, it's basically like Lupul and I were our 2 young, players on our team, first round picks, second year in the league. I got him.
Yeah.
He's got me. Okay. That's a fair trade.
And you guys were best buddies, right?
Best buds. That's a fair trade. Fids and you're fucking hell of a D-man.
Yeah.
Fids was our reliable fucking second line, third line center. Badass player, played a ton of games, a lot of fucking success. You both, perfect. So we show up hung titty to morning skate, and they look at us and we're like, fuck. And they're like, where the hell were you 2? We're like, don't worry. We had our guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, fuck. And then sure as shit, Loops goes out that night and gets 4.
Did he?
He got 4.
Oh, I believe it.
The last one, after his hat trick, the last one went off the back of the glass, hit, I think, Brian Finley in the back of the head, and fell down behind him. I'm like, that's just Lupul style.
Yeah.
Stay out till 2:30, be in fucking Loop Dog, and then go get 4 the next day.
I mean, I think you're right. I think it was 2 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock we went home. So that's
it wasn't too bad. But with the game the next morning where you're getting off a pregame skate in Cincy, like, not perfect.
What hotel? You're probably at some shitty hotel, eh?
Right? But
remember those hotels you used to stay in the American League? Oh,
stinky.
God, riding the bus, grabbing your gear. Tough league, man.
I know. That's what's made us really embrace the finer things in life. But
that'll make you fucking get to the workouts in the off season. Be like, I can't stay at that Howard Johnson again in Worcester or not Worcester. Yeah, Worcester. I can't stay in that fucking stinky old Howard Johnson there with the fucking terrible sheets and thin mattress. Then you're back on the bus. Remember our bus broke down driving somewhere in upstate New England or with Portland Pirates. Bus breaks down. We're sitting on the side of the road. I'm like, I got to get out of this league. How the fuck do I get out of this league?
I know.
Who do I got to fight? I'll fight anyone right now. Not to be stuck on the side of the road with cold pizza at my feet. I mean, Loops in the American League was, I mean, you could just tell he didn't belong there.
No, I know. There's so many guys like that.
So that was lockout year, right?
That was lockout year.
Yeah. By the way, that lockout year, I mean, that league was so good.
Yeah, it was the young NHL.
And you know what was great about that, Ups, is nobody cared about getting called up, right? Because in the American League, that's the thing. And when I went back down to the jungle near the end of my run, I forgot how like all these young guys are so worried about getting called up and who's getting more ice time. It's a really unique league for that.
Yeah,
because guys are so, hockey players are great guys. You want to be a good teammate, but at the same time, we're all trying to get to the next level. So I went back down there and I would try to help these kids, being like, don't worry about stuff like you can't control. Just try to control what you can control.
Yeah, you've seen it later in your career.
I saw it late. Like,
yeah,
I was bad
for coaches.
Fuck,
right?
Bad.
Tough for coaches. You're like, what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to win the game? I want to put O'Brien out on the power play, or I got to play this fucking little kid because he's like upset that he's not up in the National League and he's our first round pick and he sucks right now, but I got to play him. Yeah. It's a tough management. It's tough, and it's tough to just focus on being a good teammate and playing the right way. But the travel in the American League too, I'll never forget. Aaron Rome, shout out to Romer, playing in Houston. Fuck, we stayed out all night. Ended up at Treasures, best strip club in the league. Spent half my signing bonus at that strip club. And we get on this bird, and these people on this plane must have been like, good God. We come 20 guys in fucking $100 suits because we're all playing in the jungle. And it's me, Romer in the middle seat, and some civilian on the window. And Romer he's sweating, and it's like, and you can tell it's coming right up. So he's like, I go to the girl, like, the stewardess, we're probably going to get back here at some point. I'm like, hang in there, Romer. And dog, from Houston to Cincinnati, he fucking puked in this bag. He just handed it, he'd look at me and be like, and in Romer's defense, man, he didn't miss a drop. And the stewardess was a sweetheart. She gave him like 4 or 5 bags. She knew, right? Oh, God. Houston to Cincy. So that's probably 2 hours. 2.5. Yeah.
stinky, sweaty, and poor Robert just puking his guts out. I'm like, that's hockey.
I forgot.
That's hockey.
Those flights are brutal.
Dude, you remember you have to get up at fucking 5 a.m. flight. You go there, the boys are sleeping in the airport.
I'll tell you what we had to do. We had to get in our bus. No, we had to go fucking, this was how we used to leave Milwaukee. From our condos, we used to drive to the rink, pack our bags, put them on the bus, drive to this place, Wilson Park, which is a 30-minute away, which is our practice rink, but we didn't have a room there. So we said, and then that's where we would park, and we would fucking put our bags, so then we would all park there, and we'd get on the bus.
No.
And then we would drive to Chicago and fly out of Chicago. An hour and 20-minute drive there. So it was to the rink, to Wilson Park, to fucking, what's there? O'Hare.
Yeah.
To O'Hare.
Which is a gong show.
Oh,
wow.
It was brutal.
That is shitty.
To talk about wanting to get the hell out of there.
No, listen, I'll tell you what, we're very lucky to play in the NHL, but like for people that are like listen to that. And we're not making, I mean, you were one of the old school guys. You got a nice,
I made 87.
Yeah, but you got a nice $1 million sign bonus.
87.
God bless you for that.
Making 87.
But like on the minors, I was making $45,000. Yeah. Fucking, it wasn't. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. But there's days where you're like, oh my God.
I know.
And that's why it's a young man's league. You try to go back down there, like Cal O'Reilly. I think Cal O'Reilly, Factor's brother, is still playing the American League. The Hammer, Garrett Wilson, still playing the American League. Like to be a veteran guy and to last in that league and to embrace the suck, you have to embrace the suck.
Yeah.
You have to like. This fucking sucks, but whatever, At least I got the Updogg beside me.
How many times
he's got two?
Say this fucking sucks,
buddy. My third year, when I went down to Portland after I got sent down.
Oh man,
I went in there. My lip was hanging to the ground. I was that guy. I thought I should have been in the fucking NHL and this and that. And I'm riding this bus, and I'm just like, get me out of here. I had no money in my bank account. I tell this story. I tell if I wouldn't have made the NHL the year I did, I would have had to got a job that next summer. I would have been at the golf course cutting grass. I had no money. I spent my whole entire signing bonus
pumping gas and cutting grass.
Yeah, I signed for $150,000. That gone. I mean, I was hanging out with Loophole the second year. This guy's fucking spending money like a drunken sailor. I'm trying to keep up with him. I'm like, fucking made 45, spent 100. Yeah. I'm like, my financial guy at the time was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. But so that's how me and the Updogg met, playing guilty out there. We had some great playoff series, though.
Yeah.
Milwaukee. I just remember
great ones.
Fucking Toots licking his chops. And I remember Brookbank said to him before the first round of the playoffs the first year, "You're fat, Toots." Toots fucking Herb came around, took his shirt, put it over his head. It was like, "What'd you say, bud? What'd you say, Brookbank?" I'm like, Billy, he's not fat, Bill. It's not Snowflake. He's not fat. Remember how much of a how dangerous he was?
Oh, yeah. He hit harder in the NHL than I think.
American League.
I think still to this day, he is the hardest hitting NHLer ever to live. I truly say that. I watched it.
Ask Frolik from Florida. Fuck, he flipped him over 6 times. I was at that game. I'm like, holy shit. Is the guy live?
I can't wait for his the new documentary to come out from Score Media. It's going to be insane. It's going to be so great. And Toots was a killer.
Killer, dude.
I mean,
fought him 3 times.
If you didn't know where he was on the ice, you were risking your life. You were in danger. If you didn't know where he was, you're in danger.
He was in the NHL. There was so much more structure to where, if Trotzy wanted you guys to play the 1-2-2 or whatever, where the second guy would have to seal the wall. Well, in the American League, there was not really that. So Toots was like, I mean, I would not take my eye off him. I'm like, where is he? Where is he? Like, look,
but he skated so fast too. And
my God!
But he was doing that in Pee Wee though. He hit me in Pee Wee at this tryout when I was with this Northern Alberta Selects, and everyone talked about him. And I knew where he was, and he fucking hit me, and I was ready for it. And my head hit the glass, and I was 13 and got the first conky, and I was just skating around.
That was the first one, yeah.
That was the first
That's
one.
Young to get one.
Yeah, but I 13, and I didn't get a whole lot after that, but I vividly remember just the where am I feeling that from him, and it was crazy, and he did it to everyone. He hit so hard, Maybe when guys were hitting like that at that age, maybe we should have toned it back.
So Toots was like, I got to get out of
He
here.
put his name on the block, and he got out of he got out of Rankin Inlet because of his, his drive and his will to be better than most people, but because he played hockey unique and hard.
Fuck
and he
yeah.
hurt people.
I'll tell you what, some of the worst where I got my bell rung
Yeah.
is where I went in to hit somebody. Where I went in to hit him, and I would fucking come in and try to hit him, and I would go back to the bench, and I'd be like,
Or you hit like your jaw on his helmet or something, right?
and you'd go back to the bench, and you'd be like, whoa, give me some water or put it there. But I remember Princey put something up heading into this year's playoffs, and it was the last year, it was the year the Lightning won the Cup, and it was the Flyers Lightning Eastern Conference Finals. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, God, guys were killing each other, murdering each other.
Series that one.
I mean, that was insane, dude. Some of the hits in that series
Tampa
were...
won the cup.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It was insane,
Chris
dude.
Dingman out there. Fucking Vinny. And it was, I watched, who did I see? Was it Patrick Sharp? Just got absolutely smoked. So someone, that series was war. Was that the conference finals that year?
Conference finals.
Wow.
That's when Torts told Hitchcock to shut his fat mouth. I think he said, shut your fat mouth or something to him. Torts the maniac. But I watched that, and like to where it's come to now, I'm like, those guys were men.
Yeah.
Played a men's game, put the whistles away. It was unbelievable. And Toots was like that. So, but we had some good battles. Milwaukee, Cincy back in the day. You guys beat us the first year. We got you the second year. That old barn, I just remember the boards where the boards would lean over and
Big ones, yeah.
fucking big ones.
High. It stunk like cow shit in there.
It's
Right?
yeah. We stayed. It was the Bradley.
boxing.
It was the Bradley Center.
Oh, in Milwaukee. No, I'm talking about your guys' Cincy.
Oh, the old Cincinnati Gardens.
That was a boxing
It
ring.
was right in the hood. I mean, right.
You're not going there now.
Fuck no.
God, they'll play there.
I hope not.
The Cincinnati Mighty Ducks are still around.
No, I think they're called the Cyclones. ECHL.
Ah.
So there's a rink downtown that the Cyclones played at, and then we played at the old Cincinnati Gardens. It was a replica kind of Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens. It was old.
Was there two teams there when you played?
Yeah.
Guys thumping each other's girls, or how did that go down?
Fuck, probably. We didn't care back then.
But like the East
Everybody was thumping
Coast,
everybody.
were you guys like,
Really, no.
were you related? Like, was it teams?
No.
They weren't all under the Ducks?
Didn't see them.
Oh,
Didn't see them. Didn't see them.
really?
Now that you mentioned it, didn't see them.
That's wild.
Now, they may all live downtown because their rink was downtown, and we were more outside the city because our rink was out in the south. Well,
you got pretty good fans there.
our fans were all right.
Who did you have? You had Sheestoff. Remember him?
Jeez.
Fuck, he was good. Nasty little righty.
She's got a DUI coming off the bus to go bag this super fan. Two blocks from where we live. He gets off the bus. He goes, "Obi, I go see. I can't remember. I go see her. I go, well, you're not driving, are you? Yeah, I drive 2 blocks. I'm like, don't drive, Cheese. I drive." And jumps in his fucking BMW X6. Next day's the day off. Nobody hears from me going to practice. We're like, where's Cheese? Sean comes. He's like, Cheese, you got DUI. We're like, oh, 2 blocks. 2 blocks she lived. I'm like, oh,
Super fan?
super fan.
Like wear the jersey and everything?
She was a big supporter of Ducks hockey. And then one day, I lived across the hall from Cheese. I love Stanislav Cheestoff. I love him.
Yeah,
I love him.
He was a good kid.
And, hey, Cheese. And me and Joel Stepp were probably sitting in this bake playing video games. It's 100% what we're doing. And we hear fucking screaming and yelling and, rushing. I open the door, and his old lady is firing pots and pans and glass and fucking pot. Like, Cheese, I'm like, you're all right. He's like, she's crazy. I don't know what's going on. So I text Lupo. I'm like, get over here. Cheestoff's old lady's going buck ditty on him. And I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, she caught me cheating or something like that. I'm like, we don't need the cops coming here. Like, calm her down. But great guy, great player, 6 skill. But yeah, I got a DUI 2 blocks coming off the bus.
That's tough.
Tough.
Did I ever tell you when my truck got broken into?
Yeah.
Did I tell on the block?
They left you right on the block.
On the block.
That's crazy.
And Claude Noel didn't tell me that it happened until after. I think it was after a Cincinnati game. I think I'm getting called up. He calls me up for the front of the bus, and usually when that happens, it's like, hey, great game. You're coming up. Like, good luck. We probably won't see you back here. That type of conversation. He's like, I didn't know how to tell you this before the game. I thought I might have fucked you up, but yeah, your truck's on blocks, and we got a call from the cops, and this is this Wilson Park, this fucking place that we had to park at. It's a shit show. It was talking about right in the hood.
Yeah,
it was right.
Hey,
Who else I remember?
speaking of guys going up and not coming back, right? So Rocco Grimaldi, great kid. I lit him up in training camp where he had to come tell me not to hit him. I remember he got called up, and it was like an emergency call up. And Rocco's a great kid. He's one of the nicest kids I've ever played with. But he's getting called up on a straight emergency basis, like Bergenheim or somebody, like literally couldn't go. Like he was just going. He's coming around being like, "Hey, nice knowing you boys. Hey, good luck. Nice knowing you. Good. And I go,
Hey, you dumb.
I go to Butler or Hammer. I go, where the fuck does he think he's going? He'll be back next week. Where does he think he's going? And then sure enough, back to like 10 days later, I'm like, Rocco, how was it, bud? No, I didn't stay quite as long as you thought there, eh? He's going around. Thanks, boys. Good luck the rest of the way, eh? Go get him in playoffs. I'm like, just naive.
You can't take the nerd out of some of the kids.
Yeah, but just a great guy. But I was just like, this guy, I think he played college. He didn't know. He honestly, I think in his heart up, he thought he was going up to the show for.
Hey, if you think it might happen.
He thought he was going to go up, play 1,000 games, never come back. I'm like, buddy, you'll be back in 2 weeks, and Bergenheim's groin heals up. By the way, the minors, just real quick, did you ever deal with getting called up and going down, up and down? Not really, right?
Oh my God! One year I did it. I bet you if we had Kyle pull it up, I might have set a record one year. I was fucking back and forth. I bet you it was 12 times.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was.
See, I never had to deal with that. I played I played 3 full years in the minors, and then I made the team out of the camp, and I fucking played 10 years. Thank God I didn't, because I dealt with it a little bit with you in Florida, and I couldn't imagine as a young kid going up, coming back down, going up, coming. It's got to be really hard. It's got to be stressful.
Looking back, I found my hardest first couple of years when I was hurt, and I'm in Nashville, and I didn't know how to properly obviously stay out of the bar. That's a big but like how to be like the pro that's like young and you're dealing with a knee injury and you're trying to stay like a professional and you fucking don't know if like being in Milwaukee's better because you got a condo down there and you probably get better treatment, or are you staying up? I'm living in the fucking Hampton Inn in Nashville. It was and I'm trying to get proper therapy there, but I guess going back, Obes, it's like now I know. Now what I do know about how I have to rehab and what these players go through mentally and trying to get back in the lineup or their job getting taken and all that pressure, like fucking hard, man.
Big
it's
time.
Hard when you're young.
And I'm going to say this, you mentioned like you couldn't stay at the bar. And I look back, like that's what made us us.
I know.
Like if I look back and you said at 21 years old, if you would have been, I didn't love the game. I didn't love it enough to be like, okay, I'm going to go to bed.
No.
I'm going to get up. I'm going to practice. Why I love the game was because I could go out with my teammates and get banged up. I could go out and try to get laid. I could tell stories. I could enjoy it. We could be hungover the next day at practice. Like, to me, that's what made it all great. So when you say you couldn't stay at the bar, that made you who you were.
Yeah.
Like, you played the way you were because of who you were. And you played a physical, aggressive game because you fucking like to drink and fucking chase women.
I know.
It was hand in hand.
But my point that
some guys that could have spent some time in the bar, a little bit more fucking time in the bar. You know what I mean? Like, go get drunk, bud. You're playing like shit.
I'm saying it because I probably would have had a better little trajectory to the career had I figured out to get healthy.
Are you talking more injuries?
And then I was hurt, and that when you're talking about going back and forth, like I shouldn't have been in the fucking minors that long, but I did, and it was dealing with these little fucking nagging injuries that I just couldn't quite get over. Because had I got over them, I would have been able to play a lot more in the NHL and be in the bar more. And that's where I would have been more in my element.
Then you would have found your stride.
Being in the bar in the minors is fun, but it's not as great as being in the bar in the National Hockey League.
No, it's like Bull Durham when he said, yeah, I was in the show. 21 greatest days of my life. Well, the show, all you do is hit white balls for batting practice, and all the girls have long legs and brains. It's so true. Like, you get to the show, you're like, I got to stay in this league.
I know, and that's...
I remember when I made the league, I'm going down to Newport with Joe and Pico and PJ and Stu, and I'm looking at these broads everywhere. I'm going, what? And this is better than Portland, Maine, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Uppy, it was 5 times between 02, 03, 06, 07.
Wow, that's tough.
Yep.
That's tough. Like, the people don't realize I did it as a veteran, and it sucked. And I only got called up 2 times that year, maybe 3. But you go up, you're up there, you don't know how long you're going to be there. They send you back down. You don't know how long you're going to. It's really stressful. It's really tough. But listen, buddy, nobody was better in the bar than you. So don't say that because you're fucking legendary in the bar. Kyle, let's
take that back.
Yeah, let's take a call.
All right, boys, we got a call from Blake Dewey out of Toronto. He's got a call for Obes here.
Fellas, Blake Dewey here from Toronto, the hockey mecca of the world. Long-time listener. Love the podcast. Keep it going, fellas. Question for Obe. Back in the 2010 Vancouver days, there was an incident where he was late to a Monday practice and ended the season off on a wrong note. You dive into the story for us? Were you having a bit of a Sunday fun day? What was going on Sunday night that made you miss that morning practice? Love you, boys. Go Leafs, go.
Dewey, fella. Yeah, I mean, I've told the story on this pod. I'll tell it again, but yeah, we went in and played San Jose on a Saturday night, right? Had Sunday off. This is what makes it worse. Sunday was our day off, right? But we got in too fucking late Saturday that I couldn't really do anything, right? So I had a few on the bird. Then I got there, and we landed at like, I don't know what it was. It was too late. It was 2:30, 3 o'clock. There was nothing going on. So I went to bed. I got up Sunday, and I went full charge all fucking day. Rick Rippon, God bless his soul, he met me out. A few of the other boys met me out, and they probably ducked off at about dinner time, right? And there was no way I was going to bed just yet. And I went right into L-Town, and I'm bumping around other places. And at this time, it's my second year in Vancouver. So I could go around the city, and I didn't really need. I could go Kevin Connolly style. I didn't even need any friends. I just, hey, what's up? Hey, Holmes, how you doing? Want a drink? Yeah, let's have a drink. And now it's probably getting close to midnight, and I'm fucking tuned up. I'm like, I better go home. I got practice tomorrow. And I'm on Granville Street, and people are gonna love this. And there's the Roxy, and I saw I'll slide in for one and see what's going on. Wow, one turned into two or whatever, and I left there about 2:30, and came back to my house. And this probably doesn't surprise anybody, but it didn't have an alarm clock or anything. I just had my phone. And obviously pinned or whatever. I came in there, and what I thought plugged it in, I didn't plug it in. So boom, down she goes. And back then, you know more than anyone, I could sleep like a bear. So down I went, and I'm fucking out. And I wake up in the morning, and fuck. And you know where it's kind of like, you're like, oh boy. And I go to the phone, and the phone's dead. So now I got to turn my TV on to find out what time it is. So now I turn the TV on. And now this is probably 9:15, and I got a 10 a.m. practice. I probably woke up at 9:15. So now I gotta wait. So now I'm getting dressed. Now I'm waiting for my phone just to fucking charge back up. So boom, it backs up. I call Bernie. It's Obi. Sorry, I'm on my way right now. Go to my car. As I get to my car, my phone dies again. So I plug it back in while I'm driving like a goddamn maniac to GM Place. And I probably got there at 9:50. And I came in, threw my gitch on Updogg, and tried to get dressed. And then Bernie came in, and he's like, AV doesn't want you going out there. And I said, fuck that. I get it. We can deal with it after. Let me go snap around with the boys. I'm here. Let me practice. Went back in, came back out. He said, take your stuff off. Not going out there. Go get a workout in. So when I went and got a workout, and Stan Spiel, great guy. Steamer comes in. I'm riding the bike. I probably just stink like a fucking... And I'm fucking riding it. I go, Steamer goes, what happened? I was like, my bad, Steamer. Fucking cell phone, didn't charge, this and that. So AV has his press conference. First guy asks, where's O'Brien? And he says, I'm not gonna answer any questions about Shane O'Brien. He said that like 5 or 6, 7 times. So the PR guy comes in, he's like, this is probably going to be a story. I'm like, well, fuck, now it's going to be a story. So I go home, call my agent, and then I'm sitting there, and Jason Lombardo, Blow Dry Lombardo, calls me and says, or texts me, says, what happened to you? And I said, how do you know what happened to me? Like, how do you know? He said, well, I'm listening to Sportsnet 650, and right now they got a call-in show saying, if you seen Shane O'Brien yesterday, call in and let us know. And they're like, I saw him at Yellowstone Brewery. Yeah, I saw him at Global. Yeah, I saw him at fucking this and that. So they ended up suspending me with pay, but I missed the California trip. They suspended me.
No way.
Yeah.
They didn't take you on a 2-gamer?
They took me on a 3-gamer.
Oh.
And Updogg, the shit they were making me do, buddy, they made me stay back. I could have filed a grievance against the league. I still think to this day. They made me stay back, but they were paying me. Stay back with the second equipment guy, and I was doing 2-a-days. I was skating in the morning and working out, and then in the afternoon we were going like running Stanley Park or going back to the rink and running the rinks. They were giving me meals that I could eat, only meals that I could eat. Like my boy Cramper was living with me. I like a piece of chicken that big. So I was 240 at the time. I got down to 231 or something, or down to 229 in that course of 2 weeks. And my first game back in San Jose, Steve Bernier, go back for a puck, drills me from behind, separates my shoulder. I'm like, Oh, fuck. Yeah, I could have used that extra 10 pounds. But yeah, that was it. And I remember my dad was a beauty. It was literally it was the first story every day on TSN, right?
That's nuts.
Sucked. So my dad calls me and he's like, "Are you going to fucking say something or what?" And I'm like, "Honestly, Dad, I just want this to go away. I'm sick of waking up and seeing my fucking face on TSN and Sportsnet that I'm suspended and fucking embarrassed. Like, just, oh yeah. Oh, you're a fucking drunk because you slept in for practice because you're a fucking drunk." And I went, "Fuck you," and I hung up like that.
Oh, he wanted you to say something.
He wanted me to just
better wanted you to come out and give your side, eh?
Yeah, he wanted me to stick up for myself, probably.
Yeah.
But when he called me fucking
it's
drunk,
yeah. I can picture Beckham like, my son just something's gonna happen, right? Like it always does to your kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, which buddy does he remind me of, or me? This is something I would have done, and just how to handle it, right? Beckham, you're a fucking drunk.
Yeah.
Like,
you're drunk because you slept in for practice and you're a fucking drunk. I went, oh, he's fair. I remember one time Pitter came over to my house too. I was living on the golf course and he was playing that morning. I was having a nap on the couch. Like, there he is. He's half cutting. And he's just giving it to me about, drinking too much. And you think you're a superstar. Oh, you think you're just this NHL superstar that can fucking drink all the time and not work out? You think you're that good? Well, let me tell you something. You're not that fucking good. And then I go, get out of my house. Get out of my fucking house. Oh, Pitter, man.
That's great.
Updogg, you want to read that next one for
Sure, yeah.
Actually, I got it here. You don't have it.
No, I got it right here. Mark Catino. That's his Instagram anyway. I'm sure he's got some DMs in there with that in their last name. What's the biggest measuring stick in terms of a successful NHL locker room?
Great question.
It is. I
love a little mojo.
No loose lips, sink ships.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's probably right. If we're making,
that's at the fucking top of the totem pole.
That's
right
at
there.
the top of the pyramid. What loose lips, sink ships?
Yeah.
That's 100%
sink ships.
That's 100% true.
The next one I had is practicing hard.
Yeah.
If you have a good team, you guys practice hard. And then what I think is that whole, what keeps that together is having great leaders in there.
Big time.
Yeah.
And for me, I wrote down laughter.
Yeah, it's keeping it loose.
Winning is important. Obviously, when you're not winning in the NHL, there's not a whole lot of laughter. But the dressing rooms I had, Vancouver, Nashville, Colorado, my first year, Anaheim, Tampa, like Anaheim especially. Like you come in and people are chucking shit at each other, you're laughing. To me, that makes the best thing. And then not having cliques. I remember my second year in Colorado, we were so far in the playoff. Our dressing room was so cliquey, man. And I was as guilty as anyone. A guy who I ended up playing with in the minors and respected even more, Greg Zanin, was a guy at the time that I couldn't really stand, and I didn't want to be a part of him. And it would be me and PA and McGinn, and then it would have Eric Johnson, whoever. Like, it's just a really cliquey room, and that was the most poisonous room I've ever been in. And to this day, it still leaves a shitty taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was the only time I've ever been in a dressing room where I wasn't truly thrilled to be in there. Like, I didn't want to go in. I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta go in here again.
It's funny. It's funny. You think of cliques and like whether it's like the nationalities or the power play. Like guys are chirping. They don't want they should be on the power play. Guy hates a coach. Funny. It's a unique world to be inside, right?
Yeah, and I remember obviously this folded on me more than anything because of my lifestyle, but like, I never give a fuck what you did away from the rink. When you come to the rink, it's time to go. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking Ryan Suter when when all the Toot stuff was going on, and I just said, "Hey, Suits, I'm just curious. Like, are all the boys okay with me? Or I like to have a good time and get after it." And he said, "Oh, you're a single guy. You do whatever you do. You come and work hard every day. We don't do whatever you want away from the rink." And I was like, I always liked Ryan Suter, but after that, I was like, fucking right. We're winning. We're having a good time. Obviously, Toots was going through a tough time at that particular moment. Everyone's going to support him, but I just wanted to know from my perspective. Because I was running with Toots, like, hey, what are the boys saying about me?
Yeah.
And I didn't care, like, what everyone, if you went home and, I remember I asked Joe Sacco. Joe Sacco called me in and he said, fuck, you're going pretty hard here. And I said, well, what's the difference between me going out for dinner and drinking and trying to, get laid or guys going home and drinking a bottle of whiskey? He said, I don't know, but there's a difference. I said, is there? Like, how is that different to me? I didn't quite get that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're seen out in the public or?
No, I think it goes back to Joe Sacco's history of what like he went through.
Yeah.
Like he probably resorts to you being like a guy that, has fun, doesn't, everyone likes it. That's the thing. Some of these, the coaches, when they give you like the hard time, it's because everyone likes you. Everyone wants to be around you.
Yeah.
That's like your strength. And he's like trying to hone in on maybe taking a little bit of that away and making you more serious to see where that can take like your hockey game.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's a good point by you because AB said to me at my year-end meeting with Vancouver.
It's like it's a problem when too many guys like you.
Yeah, AB goes, Olbs, if I played with you, I'd probably hang out with you, but coaching you is not perfect. Yeah. I'm like, what does that mean? So you like me as a guy, but I guess you're questioning my habits as a pro. It was just a weird comment. I'm like, that kind of threw me off. I didn't think he was going to say that. But another thing, and we had this in spades in Vancouver, and to me, when you have a good dressing room, and it's anything, is chirping.
Yeah.
Like, there's not pranks. I was never a huge prank guy, but always chirping, like ripping Hornacek. Burrows would rip Horty. We rip like Louis would be ripping him. Horty actually took a lot of the chirp, but Horty would chirp me. Biekska would chirp me. I would chirp Cass. Willie Mitchell would get in there. Like, we had a good mixture of let's not take ourselves too seriously. We're winning, and fucking let's have some fun with each other.
Totally. You know what else is having a good like card game? All the best teams I ever played on, there was a great card game.
Yeah, Vancouver the same.
Although St. Louis wasn't perfect. But like I'm talking Philly, awesome card game. Phoenix, when we were good, awesome card game.
Yeah.
Florida, we weren't that good, but
good card
game. Yeah. No, but like it's you spend so much time together on an airplane, like a lot, especially playing in Florida. Like I mean, more than enough time on these airplanes. And you're huddled in these little fucking time capsules and you're getting to know each other. But you can still be like competitive and chirping, like playing cards and chirping.
Best.
Some of the best times in the NBA.
The best. What were you always thoughts about players' meetings? I always thought when we had to call a players' meeting, it was already too late. I was never a huge, let's have a players' meeting. And then everyone says the right thing. You're like, okay, let's just prove it, boys. We know where we are.
No,
we're shit.
Time in a place.
We're shit.
Like, right?
Fucking shit. We don't need a players' meeting. I thought they were overrated. That's just
the best team meeting I've ever been part of. And it was a team, it was a player-led meeting by Chris Barch.
Yeah.
Chris Barch. And he went around and he just started ripping everyone in our room. And he wrote up on the board like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And he went to everyone and said, on a good NHL team, and we're not, but on a good one, and he's like, I got 4 columns here. First line, second line, third line, fourth line. What line do you play on? And he went around to everyone, Stephen Weiss, fucking Versteeg, Jovo, Brian Campbell, and he's like, oh yeah, you think you play in the second line? Wrong. Third liner, fourth liner. And he's like, Steger, you should be on the first line on any team. But because you don't back check and you're lazy and you fucking don't give a shit, you're a fourth line player. Like he went around to everyone. And I mean, I was laughing the whole time because I didn't give a flying fuck.
No.
But I was, I did, but I didn't. Because
that's free. I mean, that
was all time, man.
That is so
time. Juiced up.
Fuck that guy.
He was he had the blood going through his veins, and he was, it was all time comedy.
You think you got a good line? No, you're on the third fucking line. You're the fourth fucking line.
Yeah. See, you want to write your name under the second line there? No, wrong. Fourth line. Yeah.
Dude, we had some AV went around the room my second year and just went around and was like pointing at guys, underachieving, achieving, underachieving, fucking brutal. Around the whole room, and then Matthew Schneider, God love Schneidesy, at the end when AB was done, Schneidesy went, it was like just a silence in the room, and then Schneidesy went, oh yeah, what would you give yourself? And I fucking just about hit the floor. I had to hold it back. Oh yeah, what would you give yourself, AV? And AV's like, yeah, I'm probably underachieving too. And Schneidesy like, yeah, exactly. It starts with the coaching. Oh, like Stein, you just made my day, bro. You just made my day. But
that's good.
That Bart story is unbelievable. That guy, he was a beast. But that's so true. I mean, that's another thing about good dressing rooms. You gotta have accountability.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah. That's true. Like, you could play big minutes, but like, that's why we suck.
Totally. And not everyone can be great.
No.
But there's moments. There's moments throughout the season in a dressing room with good leaders that, you just they pick it up during the game, right? Like. You say something to a player in the game or in between periods that calls him out that you need to do it. Like at some point you're like, I got to call out this fucking, Tarasenko. I got to call him out.
Yes.
Today's the day. And then someone does it and it's over with and you move on. Maybe there's some fuck you back and forth, whatever the case may be. But you address things and then you move on, and that's the sign of good.
Yeah.
team.
Soon as I have a good team is too that you don't have too many guys that just say stuff when the coaches are around too, right? When the coach is around, somebody says something, you're like, fuck off. Bud. All right. We get it, buddy. You're being a hero in front of the coaches. You're absolutely right about calling people out and being accountable and just owning it. Right.
Yeah.
My best teams, Canucks, Nashville, my first year in Tampa, the Ducks. I mean, these guys, the dressing room it managed itself. It was just such a great place. I mean, there was nothing better than an NHL dressing room when you're winning hockey games. Kyle, Morgan, let's have one more call. Finish this off here.
All right, boys, we got a Canucks fan who's got a question for both you guys.
Fellas, big Canucks fan here. Interested to get your take on the Canucks playoff walkout music coming out into the streets of No Name by U2. I think it's the lamest shit ever, personally. A lot of the Canucks fans around here are saying we got to bring it back. I say we have to ditch it. Obes, Uppy, I'm interested to hear your take. Come on, we'd much rather be walking out to some Metallica or something a little bit hardcore. No? Just me? All right. Thanks, fellas.
How about Crazy Train?
Oh, that's such a great tune.
Ozzy. But I'll tell you what.
Tune.
I seen U2 at the Sphere. Great. It was a great atmosphere, a great thing. I don't love U2. I don't like...
My Irish brothers? You don't love my Irish brothers?
I love U2. But I will tell you what I do love of the Vancouver Canucks is Don't You Forget About Me, Simple Minds goal song. All time. When that fucking gets... I love it. So I don't know. The little taste of the 80s and 90s that they have, that they give back to the fans, I like it. Some fucking... It's like some arena rock. But yeah, I hear them. Maybe some fucking...
Yeah, I'm okay.
Thunderstruck.
I'm okay with this. I got no problem with Metallica. I mean, some of these... Listen, if you're on social media, they'll come up with these shows of some Metallica playing in Russia in front of 1 million people back in the day, and they were just like... How
about they played at Folsom Prison?
Fuck. Are you kidding me, Metallica?
You ever see the Folsom Prison? Fuck,
no, I haven't.
Kenny Clinch took a photo.
It'll come up on my phone now that we're talking about it.
And they're in the prison, and all the all the inmates are just going nuts.
Yeah, I can imagine. Listen, for me, I'm okay with it. I loved my playoff hockey in Vancouver, man. I loved it. Oh man, you come out to the white towels. Our rink used to rock. People used to get hammered. It was such a great place to play. I mean, I still get goosebumps thinking coming out for those games, man. And
we got to get up. Yeah.
And then the national anthems. Fuck, when they would sing "O Canada," and then everyone in the barn was singing it. So I'm okay with it. I'm not going to say anything against Metallica either, but I'm okay with U2. And Canucks fans come playoff time. Updogg are some of the best, my man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uppy, always a pleasure. Morgan, Kyle, thank you. And to you guys out there, the fellas, for calling in and writing in. We appreciate it. We love doing these. That was a curfew call.
Fellas.